Hey guys, okay, I want to talk to you today about when is the best time to drink my tea and what types of teas should I drink. This is the question that was posted by Jen on the video that I made the other day, or the video I was getting ready to make. And I wanted to separate this out because it is quite a topic that a lot of people ask about and sort of deserved its own video. So I want to talk to you a bit about that today. So basically, there's a few different things you need to take into consideration, and people drink tea for many different reasons. And one of the main reasons that people will transition to tea is that they're trying to wean off of coffee. For one reason or another, the caffeine in the coffee is too much. They're experiencing some unwanted side effects from all the caffeine in coffee, but they're trying to wean themselves off of coffee and are transitioning more to tea so they can still get those benefits of some caffeine without that crash and burn cycle that coffee tends to give us. Or perhaps they want to take advantage of all the health benefits that tea has to offer, because as we know, there's lots of different health benefits in drinking different types of teas. Or perhaps they enjoy the taste of it, which these people are generally those who've been drinking tea for quite a while. Or maybe you like to drink it socially. It's where you like to have a couple of friends over and sit around over a cup of hot tea and share stories and talk, right? Like ladies like to do. So deciding what type of tea you're going to drink and what time of day you're going to drink it is really going to depend on what your goals are. And I know that sounds strange because really, who has tea drinking goals, right? It just sounds silly, but hear me out for a second. So first and foremost, if you're looking to wean yourself off of coffee, you're going to want to drink certain types of teas throughout the day so that you still get the effects of that caffeine that you're used to, and you still get that burst of energy that you're used to from drinking coffee. But the level of caffeine you consume throughout the day, depending on how much coffee you used to drink, will change as the day goes on to prevent you from having any sort of insomnia issues or issues falling asleep at night or staying asleep or things like that, or maybe waking up with headaches from all the caffeine. So if you're a heavy coffee drinker, let's say you're drinking 3 or more cups of coffee a day and you want to transition to tea, then I recommend starting your day off with a cup of black tea or pu'er teas, because these are the teas that have the highest levels of caffeine in them. And they're going to give you that boost of energy that you're used to from drinking coffee. And I have some of those teas here, but we're going to come back to these at the end when I sort of recap all of this for you. Black teas, aside from giving you those boosts of energy, they have many, many health benefits. So they can help boost your digestive systems, which we talked a lot about the other day in the gut health video that I posted. They can help increase your energy levels, again, without that crash and burn cycle that coffee tends to give you throughout the day. They can also help reduce our stress levels, which everybody's always looking to reduce stress levels, especially now in this day and age. And English breakfast tends to be a really popular choice for a morning black tea. So if you're looking to replace that morning cup of coffee, the English breakfast can be a nice option. So can the Earl Grey de la Creme black tea. And I don't know if you can see it very well, but and the smell of this is just amazing. But Earl Grey de la Creme is the tea that sort of started sipology in the very beginning, but that's a whole nother story. So as the day continues, then I suggest you transition from a black tea in the morning to a green tea or your matcha. Now, you guys know I love my matcha, but green tea has less caffeine than black tea, but still has enough caffeine in it that it's going to give you a sustained level of energy for about 4 to 6 hours. Now, your standard cup of coffee that you drink is going to give you energy between 1 and 3 hours. So after about an hour, you may start to hit that coffee slump, is what I like to call it. So green tea or matcha, which is green tea or matcha, which I did bring the sticks up, can give you that more sustained energy. If you're more of a floral, fruitier tea drinker and those are your taste buds, you could even do a white tea. White tea is going to have less caffeine even than green and matcha will. So that's what I suggest in your mid-morning into your mid-afternoon. I love to have a cup of green tea in the afternoon, especially matcha, because that green tea in the afternoon gives me enough caffeine to get me going for the rest of the day without keeping me up at night and causing any sort of sleep issues. So that's why I like it. After dinner though, you want to switch to more of your caffeine-free teas. This is when you're going to want to focus on your herbal teas. And your herbal teas tend to have tons and tons of health benefits and are where you can really sort of target specific health focus goals that you might have. And I'm actually not even pulling through the slides. So here we go. So in the evening, you're gonna focus on those herbal teas. You can also do a rooibos tea, which is caffeine free, or even some of your fruity teas. If you are a fruit juice drinker or maybe an iced tea drinker that likes fruity iced teas, that's a good time to enjoy those because again, those are all caffeine free. So peppermint is one of my all-time favorite ingredients to include in my herbal teas in the evening because peppermint has a very soothing effect on your digestive system after it's been working hard all day. So you might, by the evening, depending on how your diet is, experience some intestinal distress, and peppermint-based teas can really help settle things down there. So all of that's based on caffeine levels, okay? So you'll see here on this little scale, the caffeine levels. Your black and pu'er teas are the highest caffeine levels. So again, it's kind of start at the top of here, and that's morning and works all the way down to your nighttime teas, right? So now let's think about health benefits. So when do we drink certain teas for certain health benefits? So let's talk for just a moment, let me move this out of the way, about teas. Teas are, the ingredients in teas are highly absorbed into our system. So it's best to enjoy your tea 1 to 2 hours before you eat or 1 to 2 hours after you eat. And if you enjoy it 1 to 2 hours after you eat, the ingredients in the tea are actually going to help you absorb the nutrients from the food that you just ate. So that's why a lot of the times you'll see people will enjoy their meal and then top it off at the end with a cup of tea. Very rarely will you see people actually consuming the tea at the same time they're consuming a meal, especially when you're eating out places. So enjoying it after you eat can really work its magic and help your digestive system as it starts to break down and process all the food that you eat in. Now, the other way you can really use tea for health benefits is as a pre-workout energy boost. Sorry for the spelling error here. I just noticed that. But there are lots and lots of supplements on the market, pre-workout supplements. I drank them for a really long time. And I'm not against drinking those either, right? But if you're looking for a more all-natural pre-workout, green tea, especially matcha, can make a terrific pre-workout drink for you. Have it about 30 to 60 minutes before your workout. It gives you, again, a sustained level of energy. Plus, you're getting all of those health benefits from it, right? Antioxidants, it's good for our guts and all of those things. Now, there are some fitness experts that claim that green teas and matcha can help with weight loss. Now, this is not an FDA-approved claim, so I'm not saying it absolutely will do that, but some fitness experts, based on experiences with clients, have seen this happen. And quite frankly, the health benefits of consuming green tea and matcha alone are worth it, whether or not those are true statements. So it's kind of a no-brainer for me to include it as a pre-workout drink. I love the matcha for pre-workout because it comes as a sweet matcha. They have this sweet lemonade matcha, and it's just a little stick and you dissolve it in water. So I just throw it in my shaker cup like I always used to, and it's a great pre-workout. Now, some people will experience digestive upset as they, if they drink tea on an empty stomach. So especially if you were used to consuming coffee in the morning, like you get up in the morning, you have your cup of coffee, and then you maybe eat breakfast an hour or so later, you may find that when you get up and have a cup of tea first, and then eat breakfast an hour later, you may experience some digestive upset. So some people will experience digestive upset as they, if they drink tea on an empty stomach. So especially if you were used to consuming coffee in the morning, like you get up in the morning, you have your cup of coffee, and then you maybe eat breakfast an hour or so later, you may experience some intestinal distress or your stomach just might not feel right. And if that's the case, then you may want to try and enjoy a meal first and then your tea. And again, it's just because of the ingredients in the teas, your system might not be used to it yet, but it's kind of one of those things where you have to test it and see. Can you get up and have a cup of tea on an empty stomach? If so, great, go right ahead. If not, just know that maybe getting something in your system first, even a piece of fruit before you enjoy your tea, can be helpful. So I want to talk next really about, let's call it a day in the life of a tea drinker, which is kind of how I listed it here, right? And this is for those of you who are maybe just transitioning to teas, or you've been drinking tea, but just kind of been drinking it haphazardly with no specific goal in mind, right? Because who has tea drinking goals? This is sort of what I recommend for people. And you by no means have to have tea in the morning, have it mid-morning, have it mid-afternoon, and have a cup at night. That is not what I'm saying at all. And use it as a pre-workout. That's not what I'm saying at all. But what I recommend is maybe start with a daily cup of tea. So find something that you really like the taste of that you can incorporate every day. And then find another one that maybe focuses on one of those health goals you have. So maybe if you need some digestive help, you focus on one of those, or maybe you need help settling down at night to go to bed, or but I recommend starting with 1 to 2, and then as you get used to it, then you can start to add in additional teas. So here's kind of what a day would look like, right? So you wake up in the morning, move this out of the way again. You wake up in the morning and you might have a cup of black or green tea. And again, that would be like your English breakfast, your Earl Grey de la Creme tea. Maybe it's a green tea, so a caramel apple crisp tea, which I didn't bring up here, or a cozy pumpkin chai tea. Or you can have your pu'er teas in the morning too. So like this is a toffee caramel tea. I had this morning instead of coffee and it was delicious. Actually, I prefer the taste of it. But this is a black tea. So you have a cup of black or green tea in the morning. And then about mid-morning, you're going to switch to a green tea, or maybe now you even have your matcha. And green tea here, I've got the caramel apple crisp. I don't know if you can see the bits and pieces in there. Those are big pieces of tea. Or if you do your workouts in the morning, this is a good time to use your matcha and have your pre-workout, which again, I wouldn't use this and have a cup of green tea. I would probably just have my matcha. And you can have your matcha hot, you can have it cold, you can have it sweet, or you can have just a traditional matcha drink. Really completely up to you how you want to do it. Then mid-afternoon, I would continue or use a green tea or a matcha. So it might be you have a cup of tea in the morning and maybe you have one in the afternoon. In the afternoon, again, a green tea or a matcha, or if you like those fruity floral, you can use choose a white tea. And then in the evening, evenings are a great time for a wind down routine that includes an herbal tea. And we have so many amazing herbal teas. Actually, Immunity Booster is one of my all-time favorite evening wind down teas. It's currently, unfortunately, out of stock, so I will let you know when it's back in stock. But that is one of my favorites. But I also have this Nettles tea. Let's find it. This Nettles herbal tea, and I don't know if you can see these bits and pieces. They're pretty big, but this is another one. Nettles, I did a whole nother video on that. It gives you some really great health benefits as well, plus it has the chamomile in it. So it's just a great herbal tea to wind down at night, or you could use a rooibos tea. And then maybe think about your health goals, like I mentioned. So maybe you've got digestive troubles, and I always think it's helpful to have these on hand. You typically, with your healthier, the teas that you're targeting health goals with are going to be part of our Heal Thyself line. So you're not going to drink these every single day. So something like if you're looking for digestive help, let's say, you might use the Quest to Digest tea, which is this one here. And these particular teas come in come in tea bags. And again, these are part of the Heal Thyself line. But they come in these biodegradable tea bags that you just drop into your cup. And because they're herbal-based teas, you're going to steep them for a lot longer, 10 to 15 minutes compared to the 2 to 4 minute time frame on all the other teas that we have. But the Quest to Digest is great for really targeting indigestion issues. Maybe you've had a rough day of eating and your stomach's just gurgling and bothering you. It's a great one to help settle things down, or any sort of peppermint tea with peppermint in it. Maybe you want to target sleeping, right? You've been having trouble sleeping at night, and you're not always going to have trouble sleeping, but when you do, it's nice to have something on hand that can help with that. So we have a tea called Keep Dreaming, which is great. And we also have this Stay Calm tea, which has valerian, St. John's wort, catnip. So it's a great one to help just sort of settle things down, maybe anxiety or nerves, before you go to bed at night, or a chamomile tea. If you have trouble with your lady life, so your menstrual cycle, maybe you experience a lot of symptoms when you have your menstrual cycle, and cramping or bloating or just uncomfortable feelings that come along with that, we have a tea in the Heal Thyself line called Femininity Tea. So that's a great option. Again, you wouldn't use it all the time, or you could choose a tea with ginger or cinnamon, or the nettles can be really super helpful with that. So that's an option. So you kind of get a feel for what it looks like to include different teas, when you might incorporate those teas, how you might incorporate them. Now, again, with your health goal targeted teas, it's not something you're usually going to drink every single day. Although you could, if it's a tea that's great for your gut and it's safe to consume every day, which we talked about the other day, absolutely. But like I said, for the most part, any of the teas that you find in the Heal Thyself line are considered medicinal teas, so you're not going to consume them every single day. That's why I like herbal teas, because herbal teas are really good for everyday and safe for everyday consumption, and have a lot of those ingredients that can help with various things without them being at a medicinal level that it can really impact you. So that is, to sum it up, a day in the life of a tea drinker. And I know that's a whole lot of information. And by no means am I saying you have to have a morning tea, a mid-morning, a mid-afternoon, an evening tea. You absolutely could drink that much if you want, but you don't have to. Like I said, focus on picking one that you really like, one tea that you really, really enjoy. For me, I love the green tea. The caramel apple crisp is one of my favorites. Unfortunately, it's seasonal, so I'm gonna have to find a new favorite green tea. So I tend to have this almost every day. And of course, my matcha, because I work out. So when I'm working out, I include matcha. And you really should include matcha every day if you can. And then, like I said, for me, I really enjoy those herbal teas for that wind down routine at night. And then I keep Quest to Digest almost always on hand, because when I have indigestion problems, within an hour, this just settles things right down. So you can sort of see how to pick and choose which types of teas, when you should be drinking them. Now, I will say this, if you're not a tea drinker now and you're transitioning to tea, for you, it doesn't matter when you drink it, because the benefits of drinking the tea are going to far outweigh right now getting down the best time to drink it or the best type to drink. They all have health benefits. But as you get more experienced with drinking it, you can start to tweak what you're drinking and when you're drinking it. And this is just kind of a guide to help you get there. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, let me know. One more thing before we go, though, I want to tell you, remember that when you're drinking tea, you're hydrating your body, unlike drinking coffee. When you're drinking coffee, you're actually not hydrating your body at all. With tea, you're hydrating your body, plus giving your body all of those additional health benefits that tea offers, those antioxidants and nutrients and all those things, anti-inflammatory properties and all of that. So drinking tea gives us health benefits and really helps us meet our water goals that we have for the day. So Again, if you have any questions whatsoever, let me know. Thanks, guys.